Coming up on this episode of Iowa Life. Meet the Khatib family of Dubuque and learn about what the holiday season means to them.
Although the press and the attention was nice, the actual family time that we spent together was certainly the highlight of last Christmas.
Definitely.
See how a Des Moines rabbi creates community and celebrates Hanukkah in a kosher deli.
We are here, we awaken appetite for people to want to meet each other and to do face-to-face contact and communication.
And enjoy an evening of Christmas music at the Corning Opera House. It's all coming up next on Iowa Life.
Funding for Iowa Life is provided by the Gilchrist Foundation, founded by Jocelyn Gilchrist, furthering the philanthropic interests of the Gilchrist family in wildlife and conservation, the arts and public broadcasting, and disaster relief. Mark and Kay DeCook Charitable Foundation, proud to support programs that highlight the stories about the people and places of Iowa. The Strickler family, in loving memory of Lois Strickler, to support programs that highlight the importance of Iowa's natural resources on Iowa PBS. And by the Laney Grimm Fund for Inclusive Programming at the Iowa PBS Foundation.
Food is more than just sustenance. It marks important events, anchors religious traditions, and builds a sense of community. No one knows that better than Rabbi Jacobson, who runs the only sit-down kosher deli in Iowa.
And people get a kick out of it, a rabbi making up their sandwich, you know?
No, go ahead. I'm shooting way up here. Okay.
The truth is, I didn't know what to call it. So I made a dream request. I wrote a letter, I put it under my pillow, and I woke up with Maccabee. I remember I said, Hani, we're calling it Maccabee because for the extended community, it's out of Big Mac and Applebee or Big Mac and Arby. It has that jingle.
The Jacobsons came to Iowa from Brooklyn to serve as a resource to anyone who desires something of Jewish life, to attend to the spiritual and physical needs of the community.
So my wife and I are part of the Chabad Lubavitch Hasidim. We are an institution based on the teachings of the Torah, and there's nothing we wouldn't do for our Jewish brothers and sisters and for the community. Serve the community, whatever it takes. We started Maccabee Deli because we realized that many of our Jewish brothers and sisters have never been educated in kosher. And before you could teach people Torah or pray with them in Hebrew, you gotta feed their appetite.
Should we bring us more pickles for them?
Because of the kosher meat processing plant in Postville, Iowa, the meat they serve is processed locally.
It's like God put all the pieces of your puzzle in front of you. It would be almost a sin not to open up a kosher deli. There's no option for failure. So our choice was either we're gonna succeed or we're gonna succeed.
It was business as usual for many years, until one day in July of 2023, when a post on TikTok went viral.
I found a New Yorker-owned Jewish deli in Des Moines, and I am so happy. It's run by a rabbi from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, who immediately clocked me as both not from Iowa and vaguely Jewish, like as soon as I walked in.
One morning we came in and they were out the door. That was it, both ends. And we were like, what happened? We ran out of pastrami, we ran out of bread.
Okay, so at the beginning, I made a video on TikTok about moving to Des Moines and why I moved to Des Moines and how I think there's cool stuff to do here. Maccabee's Deli DM'd me and was like, hey, I don't know if you know, but there's a kosher deli in Des Moines. And I found out when I went back the second time that it's actually their child in Florida is the one who runs their social media. So he reached out to me without telling his parents.
Okay, we don't have TikTok. You don't have So we didn't know what happened to us.
I made the video just sort of on a whim and my life has been very strange since.
In the last 4 months, it has been busy throughout the whole day. It has been crazy. Chicken soup, okay.
While the increase in customers was a surprise, Maccabee's Deli is not afraid to stand out. Driving down Des Moines Polk Boulevard during Hanukkah, it's hard to miss the 30-foot-tall menorah in the front yard.
We are getting Hanukkah going, so that's come out in a week. And we're getting some interesting guests who are going to help us light the menorah this year.
Jewish communities around the world celebrate Hanukkah with gatherings, parties, songs, and games. Traditional foods, including potato latkes and deep-fried jelly donuts, are often served.
Brothers and sisters of the Jewish and the extended community, tonight we usher in the first of the 8 days of the holiday of Hanukkah.
Very bright.
So we're going to go up right now, and the governor will light the first candle, the shamash. Here we go.
Hanukkah is a festival of lights. It commemorates the Maccabees' revolt, where light won out over darkness. It's a story of rededication and hope, and it's a cause for celebration.
Enjoy those latkes.
Happy Hanukkah.
Light represents the Torah, light represents the menorah. We are all God's candles on earth. Sometimes we need help to light our candle. We're proud of the history, reliving those times in our time, and telling his story, her story, our story to the world, and being proud and standing strong. We're here, we awaken appetite for people to want to meet each other and to do face-to-face contact and communication. And we have only one sign on our window, open.
Oh, you need the mushrooms too.
Iowans are infamous for our beloved culinary traditions. No family gathering is complete without plates overflowing with homemade snacks, dips, salads, and desserts, which may be why one Dubuque family went viral in 2022 for their detailed holiday menu.
So I was boarding a flight to San Francisco for a work meeting, and just before the flight took off, my mom sent her annual holiday itinerary, which comprised everything from activities that we'd be doing over the course of the holidays to very, very elaborate meals she'd be making for us. And I thought it would be funny, as I've done in the past, to do a little tweet sort of saying, like, look at what my mom has put together. Isn't this cute and fun and also a little bit insane? And I hit send and the plane took off, but it turned out that tweet had picked up a lot of steam over the course of the 6.5 hours I was in the air. And I had something like 30,000 notifications on my phone. And within, I don't know, 12 hours or so, 150,000 people had liked the tweet. And everyone from classmates from preschool to former colleagues to national news outlets had reached out wanting to learn more about my mom and her Christmas itinerary and our plans for the holidays that followed.
The Khatib siblings each live in different states and are only all together for Christmas every other year, which is why Janet goes the extra mile to make the holiday season special. Last year, they spent the week exploring holiday displays, dining out at local restaurants, and of course, eating in at home. And throughout it all, Khalid was keeping his loyal Twitter followers up to date.
It was the first time that we had been together as a family in a long time, and although the press and the attention was nice, the actual family time that we spent together was certainly the highlight of last Christmas.
Definitely.
And of course, the highlight from the sort of virality perspective was my mom being surprised by Hoda from the Today Show, who is one of her longtime heroes and favorite news personalities.
Hey, Janet, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, hey, Janet, we have a surprise for you. This is not KWWL.
This is Hoda!
Yes,
Oh
it
my
is!
God!
Hi! Oh, my God! Janet!
Oh, my God!
This is...
Oh, my God!
I think I kind of started screaming, and then I thought I was going to have a heart attack, and they told me, Janet, don't have a heart attack. It was just amazing. I'm telling you, I had so much fun. Usually he said, maybe don't read the responses or the comments on Twitter, but people were so positive. Sometimes I almost felt like crying because people miss their mother or they miss their holidays with family. And it was just really moving. And then on the other hand, we had all these people that wanted to come and do our dishes. They wanted to bring a covered dish. They wanted to be adopted. They wanted to marry my son. So it was just fun, really fun. This is my New England Christmas village set, and it's really important to me.
When you walk into the front door, it's the first thing that you see, which sort of signifies that it's like a Christmas house. I said on the Today Show, like everyone either has a mom like mine or they want a mom like mine, but it truly is like what you see is what you get. Stepping into the house at the holidays, like there are multiple trees.
This is my main Christmas tree. This one is especially special. This is when Khaled and I got to meet Hoda out on the plaza at the Today Show.
We always joke that my sisters have pictures with their husbands and their offspring everywhere, and then the pictures of me are me, my mom, and Hoda. There are hand-sewed stockings behind us. The food is nonstop, and this is not like a new thing. And I think it feels at both very quintessentially Iowa and Midwest. And I think we have a very close family, and that's something that a lot of people either relate to or aspire to. We always look forward to coming home, me and my sisters, and it's not always easy. Work can be really stressful. There are multiple years when we've had to I joke it's like crossing the Oregon Trail to get to Iowa. It's like 10 missed flights and driving through a blizzard, but we know that at the other side, we have all of these traditions waiting for us and lots of food. So on Christmas Day, we have a lot of snacks. We've actually had to shrink our Christmas dinner menu sometimes because we're so full from the snacks we have. And these are a few of the things that we've made and our favorite things to make over the years. So my mom's classic taco dip, vegetable pizza. My sisters usually put together a meat and cheese or a charcuterie tray. And last year, the year of the viral tweet, like I said, a local farmer actually sent us a bunch of cheese from their farm, which we put on the tray, which was lovely. This is puff popcorn covered in a sort of caramel glaze and drizzled in white and dark chocolate. Chex Mix in a sort of sweet bourbon but garlic glaze. It's very good. This was a last year edition, I think.
Right, our
A butterboard.
Bakery with honey and pecans.
Spinach artichoke dip. We also have Christmas cookies that are always sitting out, trays of Christmas cookies. And let me just remind you that we have a full breakfast. We have like bacon, eggs,
French toast,
coffee cake, then this, and then we have a dinner.
My family calls me the Christmas nut, but it's just something I enjoy so much and it brings me so much happiness. So anymore in life I have found whatever brings you joy, you just do it. I always try and make Christmas a special time for our family. I do think it goes back to my days in New Vienna where I grew up, and my mom and dad, we didn't have a lot, but it was always something special. We always got the tree from the local tree farm. My dad, when we were growing up, he would put speakers up in our church tower, and he would play Christmas music on Christmas Eve for everybody to listen to. But my parents were very, very much into the community and the spirit of Christmas. My house is filled with things from my parents. I've got ornaments from my mom. I've got her village. I've got her tablecloth. I've got her china. I'm the one that genetically got most of that love of Christmas in my family.
It's not really surprising that the tweet went viral and that people were excited about it for a couple of days, but the fact that we're talking about it a year later, that people come up to me on the street, sort of recognizing me from that. When my mom was visiting in New York recently, 2 people came up to us at restaurants saying, "Oh, we love you too, you're so funny." And I think that the staying power of this story in that moment is because people are looking for something that is good, that is wholesome, that is relatable, and that again is really oriented around family, tradition, and love more than anything else.
In cheerful shades of red, pink, and white, no other plant says Christmas like the poinsettia. But how did this winter-blooming shrub that's native to southern Mexico become the official Christmas flower in the United States? The poinsettia's festive journey begins with the Aztecs. They called it Cuetlashoshi, which means flower that withers. The Aztecs also prized the plant for its red-purple dye and medicinal properties. With the European colonization of Mexico, Cuetlashoshi found itself tied to the nativity of Jesus through legends of miraculous transformation. Franciscan friars gave it the name Flor de Nochebuena, or flower of the holy night, because it blooms at Christmas time. Joel Roberts Poinsett introduced the plant to the United States in 1828. He was the first ambassador to Mexico and a botanist. Poinsett was enchanted with the blooms he encountered in Taxco, Mexico. He carefully cultivated the plants in his greenhouses in South Carolina, sharing them with his friends and botanical gardens. It was eventually named Poinsettia in his honor and lost its Mexican identity. Decades later in Southern California, the Ecke family of Encinitas saw an opportunity to grow poinsettias in pots. They could now be mass-produced and became the most popular plant sold during the holidays, gaining a prominent place in many holiday traditions. Today, over 2 million poinsettias are sold every year all over the United States and Canada, including Burlington, Iowa. Steve Ritter and his family have been raising poinsettias here for decades.
Well, my father actually started growing poinsettias many years ago down in Fort Madison, and then it's just been a natural since we built the greenhouse up here that we've been growing them now for 40-some years. This little part right here is actually the flower. The flower initiation is that little yellow part in the middle of the red leaves. The red leaves are called bracts, and that's what 90% of the people call the flowers. But the flowers are actually very small. They're less than a quarter inch. But the bracts, a full head of bracts will be, 8 to 12 inches across, and so those are gorgeous. This is pretty pleasant working with poinsettias now. When it's cold outside, they all get planted in July. It's not necessarily that pleasant in here then. The two things that you gotta have is continuous darkness for so many hours to trigger the blooming, and then you also have to have nighttime temperatures drop down into the 60s in order to really bring out a lot of color. That makes it a little difficult for people to do at home if they turn lights on and off. It isn't just so many hours of darkness, it has to be continuous darkness. Well, we buy them in as different colors, and it is fun to watch, and when you get them in, they're all obviously little cuttings of green, so you got to trust them that they're going to turn the different colors. Red is obviously the most popular, it's Christmas color. White, red and white together is always good, and it's called glitter. The glitter is actually really coming on strong now because it does so many different things. It'll be, some of them will be speckled, some of them will be more white, some of them will be more red, but you never know what you're gonna get until it's finished. We've tried to pick out the nicest ones and put inside our store so that people can come pick them out from there. Doesn't matter, they still come out here. They'll take what I don't think is as nice a plant, but they picked it out themselves, so. I think they just like the experience of coming out in the greenhouse and having so many to choose from. It's fun to see the look on people's faces when they come out here and look at the poinsettias because just the color is just jaw-dropping. I mean, it's just, they walk in and they go, oh, wow. And that's a lot of fun.
This is the Corning Opera House. It was built in 1902. Opera houses were built as gathering centers, not so much for singing opera. So there were lots of fiddle contests and lots of glee clubs, declamatory speech contest. And so that's kind of what we wanted it to be, more of a gathering place for people. We're doing a Christmas cantata, and it tells the story about Christmas, Jesus' birth. I've done one in church for many, many years. And this one's called Oh Holy Night. It's the first time for a Christmas one at the Opera House. We've done a couple Easter ones. First time for Christmas.
I love to sing. I love music. I've always said it's the chocolate to my soul.
Music has always been a big part of my life. Dee Heaton actually was my piano teacher from kindergarten all the way through high school.
I know Dee from college, and I'm on the board here at the Opera House, and I started performing in high school and then eventually went to Morningside and graduated with our BME music education.
I believe in the power of music to unite people and to lift people up. I have a music major, I have a master's in education, and I just believe in the power of music and the arts. I love to see people laughing. It just helps the camaraderie and the learning even. There's people that'll sit there and nudge each other, hey, you missed a note, or did I miss that? So, you know, they help each other, and it's good.
It's kind of fun that some of the people that taught me all about music that I know, they're still teaching me about music as we go forward. And so we're always challenging each other and pushing ourselves to be better musically and to be better people too.
Turn to your neighbor and tell him good job.
Good job.
It's the beginning of the Christmas season, and it'll help remind you what the reason for Christmas is. Well, I really believe in the birth of Christ and in Jesus, and I believe this is a very uplifting story. A couple of songs are Oh Holy Night and Silent Night and Walking on Hallowed Ground, and a lot of those have a lot of special meaning to me.
It's not about the gifts, it's about the people, it's about the family, it's about singing around the tree, it's about your faith and the happiness that this season brings.
We get to usher in the holiday. That's kind of cool. We just kind of want everybody to remember why we're celebrating these holidays, how thankful we are for Thanksgiving and especially Christmas with the birth of Christ, and celebrate the joy of Christmas.
On Hallowed Ground, it has some really cool harmonies, and I just love the way that moves. And Oh Holy Night has some really special moments in this that the choir even talks about how it gives them goosebumps to sing it. The smallest county in the entire state in land and people, but we have so much going on. We have an art center. Our main street is a cute little shops. Everything you need is right here.
I want people to come and enjoy the arts and to learn about the Opera House. Just being in this building it's kind of breathtaking the first time you're in here because you don't know what to expect. It's like, oh, this is really a cool building.
I hope that they get sparked with excitement of Christmas and remembering the true reason for the season and not just the Christmas shopping and the lights and the sounds and everything, but take that joy with them from November all the way through the Christmas season and throughout the year.
I felt this was a great way to unite people again. And part of it's to support your family and your friends and your neighbors, and the other part's to support the Opera House and the arts. And, we're all about fellowship and just friendship and being together. I like to put the unity in community.
Funding for Iowa Life is provided by the Gilchrist Foundation, founded by Jocelyn Gilchrist, furthering the philanthropic interests of the Gilchrist family in wildlife and conservation, the arts and public broadcasting, and disaster relief. Mark and Kay DeCook Charitable Foundation, proud to support programs that highlight the stories about the people and places of Iowa. The Strickler family, in loving memory of Lois Strickler, to support programs that highlight the importance of Iowa's natural resources on Iowa PBS, and by the Laney Grimm Fund for Inclusive Programming at the Iowa PBS Foundation.